What has happened again? Former President Trump has been indicted again, this time for his alleged efforts to keep and hide top secret and other documents that had been subpoenaed by the Department of Justice. On Fox News, this is one of the reasons he said he defied the subpoena and did not return those documents that were requested.
Because I had boxes. I want to go through the boxes and get all my personal things out. I don't want to hand that over to NARA yet. And I was very busy, as you've sort of seen. Before I send boxes over, I have to take all of my things out. These boxes were interspersed with all sorts of things.
So you're a lawyer. Is that how subpoenas work sound plausible to you? I just thought that maybe that interview might not have been the one he should have given.
Well, a couple of points. If I was representing Donald Trump, I would not advise him to talk about the subject matter of ongoing litigation, because whatever he says can be used for him or it can be used against him. That's a mistake. In terms of the excuse, I just have questions about it. He said that I had golf shoes, I had golf equipment inside these boxes. My question when I heard that was, how did you mix golf equipment with confidential papers from when you were president? I don't understand that at all. I'm sure he was advised, just give it all back to him. You can always get your golf equipment back if you don't. But for whatever reason, and I'm thinking now, is Trump thinking 5 steps ahead? Maybe it's better I get indicted. Maybe it's better, it makes me a martyr, which ensures I get the nomination and will actually increase my opportunity to get elected president again. Maybe that's what he's thinking. I mean, for normal people, you wouldn't think that. You'd say, look, I don't want any trouble. Is there a double standard in justice? Yeah, probably. But the question I ask is, not is there a double standard, is our new standard going to be lowest common denominator? So Hillary Clinton did, and she got away with it, so shouldn't everybody? So then we'd have no confidential documents anywhere and no ramifications.
Apples to oranges in terms of the exact comparisons, but I get your point. Mark, what do you think of the rest of the GOP field? And a lot of the folks, other GOP folk are just, they come to his defense continually, no matter what happens.
Well, they read the same polls that I read and do, and that shows that Republican primary voters love Donald Trump. There simply is not a sort of target audience within the GOP electorate that's a majority that wants to see Trump indicted and removed. You have, 60 to 70% of Republican primary voters have a very positive opinion of Trump. In all election scenarios, he trumps everybody, or but defeats everybody else by a 10 to 15 point margin. And this is within a GOP primaries that in every state, almost every state, is a very majoritarian allocation formulas, meaning if you get 40, 45% of the vote, you tend to get 65, 75, sometimes 100% of the delegates to the National Convention. So as long as the GOP field remains so divided, and this really isn't hurting Trump. The indictment doesn't hurt him. It actually helps him with Republican primary voters. Where it hurts him is going to November, where he could quite possibly lose because of it. Or right now you'd say he's probably would be likely to lose because of it. But that's about it.
So I learned a new word, majoritarian. I'm going to use that around the newsroom today a number of times. Gary, you've been a conservative Republican for a long time. What is the attraction for the Republican Party for a president who clearly is not exactly a choir boy and has been dipping around indictments and fraud cases and all kind of other things all this time and still has the support?
I think it's a selective memory of the things he did as president that they liked and forgetting some of the things he did they really didn't like he was the major sponsor of Dr. Fauci. He is the one who empowered him. He's the one who started the lockdowns. He's the one who started the wild spending because of COVID. I mean, there's a whole lot of things that are concerned. They're not conservative. But I think what people like is that Trump thumbs his nose at the establishment. And I think they really like that because in the Republican Party, there's a feeling that the major media is biased. It has been forever. The culture is biased. I mean, they think they're losing all over the place. So they wanted to have someone who stands up and speaks out and is not nice to everybody, but treats them the way they perceive they're being treated. So I think that's his attraction. But the problem is, if you look back at his presidency, and I think when people do study it, it was basically chaos. You had a communication director showed up one day, he's gone 2 days later. You know, you have now the Trump bickering with different people and going after and attacking people much lower than his stage. Remember when he went after the Gold Star father, who happened to be, I think he was a Muslim, but whatever.
Right.
I mean, he went after him because the father had attacked Trump. But he's a father who lost his son. I mean, why do you engage in this? But yet he did, and he called him names. And I think people are getting tired of all the name calling and the stupid nicknames. It's too much. And so the reason I think that Trump lost the election, because I don't think Biden won, Biden's campaign was really smart. They said, let's just let Trump implode. We should give him the stage, let him do whatever he wants to do. And Biden went to his basement.
Okay, so I got to get you out of here, but you said you don't think Biden won. So you think
No, I think Biden did not win the election. I think that Trump lost it.
Okay, but numbers-wise, you think?
Oh no, I'm talking about how this election went down.
I thought there's a whole different story.
No, do I think there was cheating? Yes. Do I think the cheating was enough to affect the election? No.
Quickly, you have the 30 seconds left. Hunter Biden got a deal. Do you think it was the appropriate deal, and why do you think the Republicans are still going after him the way they are?
Well, Republicans weren't going to be happy with anything other than hard prison time for a long time. The reality in the United States is the comparison is not Hunter Biden versus the rest of the population. It's Hunter Biden compared to other wealthy white individuals who can hire good legal defense. And I think if we look at those people, Hunter Biden's deal is pretty similar to what they get.
Gary?
I think that's a good analysis, but I think there was more to this story, and it was sat on by the Justice Department clearly. There is smoke, at least, that there is major league bribery going on from foreign countries that involve the Biden family. Heck, may involve other political families in the country because people think that politics in America is for sale.
Well, you know what? As always with you, we got more to talk about. We don't have time. Dr. Kav, you come back. Will you do that again?
Thank you.
Come back for me?
Always a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you as well. Dr. Mark Jones, Gary Parlin, thank you for your perspectives, and thank you for being here this morning.